Everybody, Holly here from HolliDay AnyDay. And in honor of Valentine's Day, I thought we might make some cute little red velvet heart cookies that we could give as little gifts for something kind of fun. So here's how we're gonna do it. First, we're gonna start by sifting our dry ingredients. I've got all-purpose flour. It just helps everything get more combined, better combined. I've got some cocoa powder. I've got a little bit of baking soda and a little bit of salt. And all we're gonna do is give them a quick little sift. Okay. That looks good. Set that aside. Okay, now we're going to take some softened butter and I'm gonna take some sugar. And we're gonna go ahead and beat these together. Now, if you have a stand mixer or counter mixer, feel free to use that. Sometimes I'm just a little lazy about that and I'd rather just use my regular old electric beaters. Make my life a little bit simpler. Make sure your butter is nice and soft. This has been sitting on the counter for a couple of hours. Still not as soft as it could be, but it will work fine. Okay, let's give these guys a go. I'm gonna start slow. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's turn that off. Let's add an egg yolk, just the yolk. Beat him in. Then we're going to add some vanilla, about a teaspoon. And since these are red velvet cookies, they need to be red, right? So be super careful with this because this makes a mess. About 1.5 teaspoons of red food coloring. I ruined the kitchen towel the other day using this stuff. Okay, we'll put this over here. Then let's beat these guys in. So super well combined. Okay, then I'm gonna add in my dry ingredients that I sifted. Do a little at a time. It's gonna seem a little dry, but it will come together. Then I'm gonna finish it just with a spoon. Okay. Now let's finish this up by hand. I think it's easier. Let me get this out of my way. So you can see it's still a little bit crumbly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in there with my best tools I have, my hands. And it's real moist. It just takes a minute to get it pulled together. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in the fridge to let it set up because it has quite a lot of butter in it. And if we didn't do that, they'd spread all over the place. So let's get it all pushed together. Okay. I'm gonna put it into one big ball, then I'm gonna break it into 2 little discs and put it in the fridge. So I need to grab some plastic wrap. Hands off a little bit. And a couple pieces of this guy. Okay. Then let's take our ball. Just basically going to break it in half. Form each one into a disc. And we're going to chill it for about 2 hours. Okay, that should do it. Let's do it just like this and that, and then press it down. That guy's ready to go. Same with this one. Okay, into the fridge they go for a couple hours. Okay, it's been a couple hours. My little discs have had time to firm up in the fridge. So what we're gonna do is give our board a little flour. Actually, that's a little too much flour. Not too much flour. But of course our rolling pin needs a little too. But let's put this here. Now you could roll this out between 2 sheets of parchment if you want. I was worried the bottom parchment might slip around a little bit. So we're just gonna go ahead and do a top sheet of parchment. I buy these sheets, they're already pre-cut, very, very handy. Give this a little press. This has been sitting out for a couple minutes because it can get a little too firm sometimes, but it warms up real quick because it's got so much butter in it. And if you work with it quick, you don't need it to go back in the fridge before you bake it. As long as you're pretty quick about it, they're not gonna spread too much. Pull it to about a quarter, maybe a little less than a quarter of an inch thick discs. Let's give it a look. Looks pretty good. Okay. Now, got a cute little heart cutter, of course, because these are for Valentine's Day. How cute is that? There we go. Do an even dozen. Okay. Now they gotta go into the oven at 350 degrees. Okay, we're gonna pop these in at 350. We're gonna cook them for a total of about 10 minutes. We wanna spin them around at the 5-minute mark. And we'll check them and see how they're doing. Okay, my cookies have been cooling for, about 20 minutes or so. They came out, they turned out kind of a nice brick red color. And I'm gonna show you how we're gonna decorate them. I've got some I've already done, but I wanna show you how to do it. So we made a mix of meringue powder and water. And you can get the meringue powder pretty much anywhere. Just go to Amazon, they have everything, of course. And I'm just gonna use a regular old paintbrush. I find it easier than a silicone one in this situation, okay? Because it just, oop, boy, that's messy. Okay, just open that. Okay, so let me show you how we're gonna do this. We're just going to take this and brush all the way, do all the way to the edge. Make sure you cover every piece of it. And we'll do a couple. It's super easy. All I'm gonna do is take this, I'll hold it up to show you, and then we're just gonna go across it just like that. Make sure you give it a nice good coating, and as you can see, I've got it on a little rack. And the cool thing about this, you know, these are red velvet cookies, right? And it kind of makes them look a little bit velvety with a super, super thin sugar. Of course, you could ice them, use your royal icing, that whole thing. But this is so much easier. So there you go, look how pretty that is. So we're gonna let those sit and kind of set up. I'd give them overnight before I package them, okay? Now, my mess right here that I have, let me show you how we're gonna pack them up. Got a cute little cellophane bag. Anything would work. And let's just gently place them in here. And these would be great for, like, I don't know, favors for your kids, coworkers, friends. They're so pretty. See how it almost looks velvety. It's really cool. It turned out super cool. Why don't we do about a half a dozen? Okay. Good. Then I've got a couple strands of raffia. With a quick tie. that just the cutest little present? It's just darling. It's so easy. Well, like we always say, right? It's easy breezy.